Hi, this is Rock. You're going to find this hyperlink function to be very powerful and more useful than just pasting a hyperlink in Excel, and I'll show you why. But it's going to take a little bit of changing your perspective on what you might think of for hyperlinks. Well, it's not just outside your spreadsheet on some web page, it's also within your spreadsheet for getting around. Let's take a look. I want to give 3 examples here. Hyperlinks for web pages, hyperlinks for internal references, and hyperlinks for file systems. So let's start with the web pages. All right, so let's say I'm doing some research and I go to different websites, and I'm going to go ahead and open up over here. I'm going to bring over here KUT. So that's the radio station here in Austin. Hyperlinks for web pages. Let's say I'm doing some research here and I've got KUT here and I want the hyperlink. So I can grab this hyperlink, copy it, come over here, paste that, and I can go to npr.org. That'll take me there. I can copy this, come over here, paste that here, and then I can also go to the New York Times, and if I copy this, I can paste that in here, and now I've got these hyperlinks that any one I can click on and it'll go and open it from there. And as you see, once you click on a hyperlink, it changes the color of it to show that you have clicked on that recently. Okay, so that's how that works, and that's fine. What if what I want to show is this and have it be clickable? That's where the hyperlink function comes in. I'm going to type hyperlink. This has 2 arguments. One is required, one is optional. The first argument is the link location. If I click here, that gives me the hyperlink itself, and then I can put in a comma and click on a friendly name here, close that parentheses, copy those down. Now I can have these hidden and just have a much cleaner way to say, okay, here are my websites and here's the research I'm going to start collecting. I can click on here, go copy what I need to, paste it into here and start building my research, and I've got my short friendly name for the websites. Okay, so that is one way to use the hyperlink function, is the way I've done it here, where you just have regular websites pasted in as your first argument, the link location, and then the friendly name. Okay, so that was web links. Let's do hyperlinks for internal reference. So I'm going to create another one here and call this internal reference. And for this, I'm going to create several sheets. Okay, so I've got A, B, C, D, and E. And in each of these, I'm going to put a letter that just indicates which it is. All right, so now if I go to D, C, B, and A. So if I want to have a list of A, B, C, D, and E, in this case, it's a little different than other types of hyperlinks. So I'm going to make this equal that and paste that down. And now, instead of using the hyperlink function itself, I'm going to click on the cell and click Control K. And now it's looking for a place in this document. So I'm going to click on this and then give the E4, which is where I typed A. So if I say OK there, and then I repeat that action for place in this document, for each of these, So you notice with this, I'm not using the hyperlink function itself, but this is definitely a fast way to get to the location that you've been indicating as an internal reference. And this is where the payoff comes for having the back button in your quick access toolbar. So then you can go to C and then come back, or go back forward to it again, come back. You can go to D, go back, you can go to E, and then go back. So you can build hyperlinks as internal references, but I found it's not so useful to use the hyperlink function for that as much as to use Control K to include a hyperlink. Note, going back here to the web links, I could have done the same thing with Control K here and go to an existing web page here and paste the URL from here into this address bar. Let me go ahead and do that. I'm going to select this, copy that, select this, hit Control K, existing place, go OK, and that will do the same thing. But the problem is that it takes longer to do that, the Control K and manually putting it in, whereas if you can paste all the URLs into one column, you can have this handy hyperlink function doing the work for you. All right, so I said there was a third one, which is hyperlinks for a file system. So let me do a similar kind of thing where I'm going to go in and create a file system that has a predictable pattern. So I'm going to come in here to this place in my Windows Explorer. I'm going to create a new folder. And in here, I'm going to create A, and I'm going to call this B, I'm going to call this C, D, E, and F. And now I'm going to put a simple file here in each of these. New Excel workbook, and I'm going to call this A. Then I'm going to go to B, paste it here, rename it B. And what I'm pointing out here is that if you have a predictable pattern of naming conventions and file structure, then you can build a quick hyperlink system that can take advantage of that predictability and give you a fast way to access all your documents just by pointing and clicking using the hyperlink function. So let me show you how in general I do that, and I actually do use this. And if you take a look at what I've got here, if I go back up to Studio here, I have A, B, C, D, E, F. In each of these, I have a file that corresponds to that particular letter, okay? So going back then to my original spreadsheet here, if I have one for hyperlinks for file systems, all right, I'm going to move that out to the end here. What we're going to do here is create a hyperlink that will be a predictable place to open the document. If we look at what this path is, I'm going to grab this part of the path, which is common for all of them. And I'm going to come back over into this, and I'm going to put this here. Okay. If I've got A, B, C, D, E, and F, the hyperlink to this file will be hyperlink. I'm going to concat the original prefix of my file location here and make that an absolute reference. And then I'm going to include the next component of the file location, which is the specific folder. So I'm going to click on that folder, and then I'm going to need to know the file name, which I can build that file name out of this and the period XLSX. Close that. And before I close the hyperlink, I'm going to give it this friendly name of that A. Close that, hit enter, and if I copy this down, let's see if that works. If I click on this, it says cannot open the specified file. Sometimes that happens. You have to figure out what is going on. So let's look at our concatenate portion of that link location. It's saying A as the folder, but then it jumps right into the file name. So what we need here is a slash between these two. So I'm going to put that backward slash there and a comma and copy that down. And let's see if that worked. And it opened up my file. It opened up A. So if I go back, I close this, and I'm back here, I can open up any one of my files just from this simple building of the file name and the hyperlink function. It's so powerful. I use this quite a bit for my own purposes when I'm building my own file system to store things. If you're consistent in how you name your file system, if you're consistent in your names and where you store things, you can create hyperlinks to all those files and have easy access. It's one of the best uses of the hyperlink function. So that's hyperlink. Next, we're going to look at sequence, which is one I've been using all along and you'll be familiar with then if you've started at the beginning. But we'll see you then.